First of all, do you both do separate interviews or do you
Yeah,
guys
separate
do it?
interviews.
Yeah,
the
we
first
usually do
time
separate
ever.
first time.
It's the
here.
first time ever?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
They are
much.
not conjoined twins.
You know, when you were gonna sit here, we were discussing, okay, if Sidhant sits here, then you sit here. And if Wamiqa sits here, then I'll sit here. So from his favorite to my favorite. And if you guys don't know, he was also offered Maine Pyar Kiya. And you didn't take it up.
What?
Really?
Do you feel that kind of comfort now as well in that?
No, I don't wake up in a garara.
Now let's talk about Jubilee.
वो दुनिया जब आपको दिखा देती है और आपको लगता है कि wow, I want to be in this world, and we both were so excited. And we were together only जब हमें बताया गया था कि नहीं होगा.
It's literally it's a nice story because Wamiqa and I were supposed to do this series for Netflix.
It is a big series.
Very big series. एक महीने बाद हम shoot पे जा रहे थे. That didn't happen, and after that, this came along.
मतलब ये industry का part है, like you do face that on a lot of levels.
I honestly haven't faced deception in that sense. Yeah, I faced dishonesty, rejection. Yes, a lot.
I think we all have faced this kind of a problem in a different way with a different time, and I think because my experience is too long, so I think I take it very sportingly.
Well, when you have such a huge power packed ensemble of people who have created something as wonderful as Jubilee, well, we thought that it's the first time that both of us should do it for Bollywood Bubble.
Yeah.
So, welcoming the team of Jubilee in conversation with us on Bollywood Bubble. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
We watched 5 episodes. We have to say that to the audience because there'll be a lot of times when we'll break into our reviews because we both have different opinions, different thoughts. We both love different people also. So, how has it been? Firstly, Bumbada, because of course Bengali connect.
First of all, do you both do separate interviews or do you
Yeah,
guys
separate
do it?
interviews.
Yeah,
the
we
first
usually do
time
separate
ever.
first time.
It's the
here.
first time ever?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
They are
much.
not conjoined twins.
So, anyways, I really enjoyed fully, and as you know, Jubilee is like Vikram sir directed the show, and I'm a huge fan of. And I think we really wanted to give a tribute to the time.
That's true.
Indian cinema. We are sitting here. We're talking. Those are the, and I think it is in a way I can say it's a classic. So I think it will be something very new for this platform.
Yeah, it absolutely
And
is.
a debut for me.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We will come back to that.
Aditi, I want to say I think retro brings out a different charm of you. That I have said it before and I will insist on it again. That yes, retro suits you a lot. Do you feel that kind of comfort now as well in that?
No, I don't wake up in a garara. Let me just tell you this. But no, I do enjoy it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's also that poetic romanticism that is associated with something that is kind of another time. And because I think as time goes by, what happens becomes more and more legendary. And, it's like there's an Aankho Dekhi that happens almost like Rashomon. And there are so many versions of that time. And I think that's what makes it so exciting because you can embroider and you can, you can be creative. And at the same time, there is this whole world that you create, that is created for you. And at the heart of it actually are, very real human emotions, which possibly don't change, whether it's then or now. It's just how we present them changes, etc. And I find it like quite incredible to be part of the vision of incredible directors who tell these stories. And I don't think it's something that we always get to choose. We get chosen for it. So that's a big blessing. I love it.
And I think it suits your eyes because your eyes do most of the talking. So it kind of suits that narrative as well.
Thank you.
I have a question for Vikram sir because I think Lutera was one film that changed me in a lot of ways. I was in Calcutta and I watched it and I remember I had actually only cried. It was a beautiful film. Sometimes there are films that you do which get a lot of love after it releases, not typically quantified by the box office results of it. Jubilee is something which is releasing on OTT. So the love that anyway comes from audience today on OTT is quantified, and you get a lot of love. People love to watch different kinds of content. Is this the type of, everything has an old world charm whenever you make it. Does that work in your head ever?
No, I think it's honestly, I've made everything stay true to the subject in that way. So in Lutera's case, it was very true to its subject, and the tone and the feel and the music and the score and all of that, and the actors and the way it was done was true to that. And the same thing with Jubilee as well. I think there is a staying true to the world and to what one is trying to do here has been the attempt, at least. And
Absolutely.
that's been the approach. I think it's been different for different films. I mean, AK vs AK and Trap are way different than something like this. So I love this world. I mean, I love this. I love shooting stuff which is, in yesterday's past. So it's always a big challenge because you want to be able to do it. And I think as our technology improves, you can actually get a little bit more ambitious than you could say 10 years ago. So yeah, I enjoy this.
But for a filmmaker, does it at least take away that pressure that when your producers investing so much, then that entire box office thing that sometimes art gets limited by the quantity and the quantification of in terms of money and whatever revenue comes up. Does that give you that sense of feeling that no, I can do whatever I want with my piece of art?
Yes and no. I think because the industry, even in the streaming world, is still in a growth phase.
Yeah.
It's not a sense that it's settled down. So literally every step that everybody takes in the industry has repercussions going into the future in terms of like what happens. So yes, while there is a lot of there's been an amazing amount of freedom that Amazon has given us to make this. They've supported us in every possible way and given the freedom to be able to like make what we want to make.
Yeah.
I think the responsibility also lies with filmmakers to go out there and make something that can either sort of like stand on its own, that can actually be, you hope obviously is going to be watched by millions of people, but can also end up, if something ambitious and something large and something at this scale and something like this goes and does well, it also means it opens the door for another 5-10 people to actually go out there and do something more as well. And that's, I think, part of that's the responsible filmmaker that one, I think, needs to be on the streaming phase. It's lovely for layered storytelling. It's fantastic. I don't think the streaming world is amazing to be able to tell these layered stories about multiple characters or multiple episodes where multiple things happen to them. That's fantastic.
And of course, in Jubilee, a lot of things happen in the first 5 episodes. So many layers to every character, actually.
Wait until you see the next 5.
Oh, yeah.
Wamiqa, I have to say, I feel you are one of the most fortunate characters on the show because you have that intro song, then there is Babuji Bhole Wale. You have got to live that era in the most complete sense in the first 5 episodes. And also, I feel like your character has that specialty that it's fearless, yet it has a restraint. For you to kind of delve into that, was it inspiring in real life as well to see that character go through that arc and kind of imbibe that kind of confidence in you?
Definitely. It inspired me so much in so many ways. Once I was done with Jubilee, I remember कि एक moment था after the shoot was done, after a few days, months, that I realized that, oh my God, I have learned so much from her that I'm a little changed person now. Especially when it comes to my body. I think I became so secure with my body because Nilofer, she feels she's awesome. मतलब वो feel क्या, उसको पता है she's awesome. अगर यहाँ पे fat है तो this is what people love to grab, that's her, that जो है वो ही सबसे best है, So she gave me so much, मतलब जितनी वो bold है, जितनी वो fearless है, unapologetic है, वो ऑलरेडी दुनिया की नजरों में गलत है तो वो जितनी मर्जी गलतियां करे अरे तो मतलब उसके लिए वो है ही नहीं कि अच्छा मुझे कोई जज करेगा, कर लिया है, हो गया, सब जज हो गया, जितना और करना है कर लो, because already she's being judged by too many people since her childhood, so it's such a, I think, free in a very true sense, so yeah, Nilofer did make me understand the true meaning of being fearless, being unapologetic, being free. So she gave me so much, and I was going through a very low phase in my life at that time. It's Nilofer who kind of saved me because जब मैं set पे पहुंचती थी, I was playing this woman who is मतलब हाँ ये हुआ वो हुआ, you know, she's a survivor. उसको वो ये नहीं है कि कुछ हो गया लाइफ में तो उदास हो गई कि अब क्या करूँ. She, you know, she's a problem solver. She's someone कि अच्छा आगे अब क्या करना है, you know. तो वो unknowingly मुझे इतना इंस्पायर किया उसने, and she helped me go through my personal low phase in life without, मतलब मुझे उस वक्त नहीं पता चला था कि it's her who's helping me, you know. So yeah, she has been amazing.
There are a few scenes which I have loved of Nilofer, which I can't mention because it will
Of
constitute
course.
spoilers. But there are a few which I can tell you after the cameras are stop rolling. But I have to say, one of my favorite characters in this show.
But your favorite character is sitting right there.
That's
so
why I
you should-
said one of my favorite.
So you-
My favorite character, unabashedly, is Jay.
Thank
I
you.
have loved the arc that he has shown. There is that growth I have seen from the first episode till the fifth, and that is very engaging as an audience. And there's so many sides of you. You start off, I don't know if I should say all the things, but it's a very interesting character that goes through so much, and you have pulled off each and every phase of it with so much panache and so much enthusiasm and perfectness, I would say.
Oh,
Not
thank
a word, but it is
Ease.
done in that way. For you, was it a bit cathartic to kind of play that role and kind of see that journey, because there's a lot of going on in Jay's life?
Oh, every single day on the set was cathartic to an extent that it really healed all my pain that I was carrying for so many years of struggle in Bombay. And I don't know what to say about the character, because you've seen it and everything is out there. It will be out there. But the thing is, now when I think about it, it's like promotions were starting and I was like, there is this feeling that I'm feeling that it's coming out. But what is this feeling? Because this character is very close to me. The series is very close to me. And I was like, my excitement is not for me that it's releasing. My excitement is really for people, because the series is going out to the world and it deserves to, because it has everything. It has that, I feel it has that lost faith in in why people watch something. They can just get lost in. It's just has everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not just about my character, but it's this whole world that is literally coming out.
And you got to do that signature dance
Yeah.
in which you use your pelvis more. So that was your intro is like that.
Yeah.
So I loved that. Firstly, I have
Oh,
to say.
thank you. So it's like when I was living this character and I was like a child, you know. So I think वो सारी body language and everything. I asked Vikram sir because it's 1950s and people used to be very loud with their body and all of that. और लोग काफी एक इमोशन को पकड़ के चलते थे, इन द सेंस किसी के साथ है तो किसी के साथ है, 10 लोगों के साथ नहीं है. वो फर्क है आज में और उस जमाने में.
But from his favorite to my favorite, because you know when you are gonna sit here, we were discussing. Okay, if Sidhant sits here, then you sit here, and if Bubble sits here, then I'll sit here. So from his favorite to my favorite, I am extremely proud. As a Bengali, I have grown up watching your movies, and I feel that today is the time when, filmmaking was always limited and art was always limited by boundaries. Even in India, although we speak different languages, it was always bounded by, and there were so many boundaries and there were so many things that limited art. Today is the time when we celebrate everything, you know. I have grown up watching your films. You have been at the cusp of change in the Bengali film industry from the time, it was commercialized cinema, and then they realized and they started respecting us because of the kind of content that you brought. What took you so many years to do this? There were so many movies that you were offered. And if you guys don't know, he was also offered Maine Pyar Kiya. And you didn't take it up.
What?
Really?
No, just leave it. No, forget it. Now let's talk about Jubilee. And you see, honestly speaking, I told you, my last Hindi film was Shanghai. And as you know, from last 10, 12 years, I'm doing not those mainstream cinema which I used to
Absolutely.
do. I shifted to, and I worked with all new age directors. I am a huge fan of this man. So first of all, he called me, and I was like, Okay. I never thought that he's going to offer me a role like Srikanth Roy. So, and it's a debut for me in OTT, as you know. Yeah, I'm a newcomer. So, like, so I had enjoyed every bit, every day. And honestly speaking, when we came, there was a huge gap of for the shoot and all because of the pandemic. But when finally we came for our workshop, so in this 2 years, I was living with Srikanth Roy only, though we had a huge gap
Yeah.
and we were not working that way. So after this narration and after even we had a break, I was with Srikanth Roy because I really wanted Srikanth Roy because it's a responsibility also. The character which has been given to me has a huge responsibility. So I tried my best, but finally I should say it's
No, it's up. Of course, I feel that you're one of the finest filmmakers that we have, honestly, from any generation. My mother loves your movies. I love my movie, and I'm hoping that my niece, whose birthday it is, I hope she also grows up to
Yeah,
love your movies and your art. But Bumbada, you still didn't answer. What took you so long? Why haven't you done a Bollywood film?
Yes,
Vikram sir
why?
didn't ask him
Why?
earlier.
also
I
want to
told
know
you.
why.
But excuse me, Maine Pyar Kiya.
forget about it. now he's calling me, I came.
It's not gonna leave us.
It's
It's all Vikram sir's fault.
Vikram
He took so long to call him.
It took
It
too
took
long.
so long.
But I'm happy that you got him. You know,
No, I'm
we celebrate him. It's he's like he's almost like God to Bengali films. But I have to ask you that this show, when we talk about layered characters, it's about love, it's about betrayal, it's about deceit, it's about politics that exists in every sphere of the society, right? And like you spoke about struggles, all of us have had a journey of our own, and our struggles have been different. But nevertheless, we've had struggles in life. This industry is something where anything can go against you and anything can go for you. When was the last time you felt that you were deceived at your workplace, or something that you were promised, or maybe you knew that it's going to happen and it didn't happen, or people tried to fool you?
No, right before this series, it's a nice story because Wamiqa and I were supposed to do this series for Netflix.
Which is a big series.
Very big series and really nice series, but for some reason it was put on hold. And the thing is, I was really devastated because एक महीने बाद हम shoot पे जा रहे थे and we had almost prepped for it, so we were in that flow. And when something like this happens, how it's like the impact it has on you because you're already attached to the character that was. That didn't happen, and after that, this came along, and I read this script, and I was like,
Destiny.
actually, मतलब अगर वो hold पे रही होती तो ये तो शायद कर ही नहीं पाते because वो कर रहे होते. Okay. So I think everything happens for a reason if we just believe.
What about you, Wamiqa?
Same. We both
We both were supposed to do that
Only
series,
that.
One of
and
the
we both
biggest-
met in this one.
We all know which
Huh.
series
Yeah.
you're talking
It was-
about.
Yeah.
It was the biggest heartbreak is
Yeah.
in work-wise of my life.
Yeah.
वो दुनिया जब आपको दिखा देती है और आपको लगता है कि wow, I want to be in this world, and we both were so excited. And we were together only जब हमें बताया गया था कि नहीं होगा. तो जब ये सब होने के बाद when Jubilee was happening, it was so overwhelming कि अब हम दोनों we are going to be in Jubilee playing these characters, these beautiful characters who have beautiful journeys. तो मतलब it was overwhelming for us. तो मतलब उसका इतना बुरा नहीं लगा, लेकिन वो deceived नहीं थे हम. But
Not
yeah,
deceived, but I mean,
But hard.
heartbroken,
deceived बस
kind of.
तब होते हैं जब
झूठ बोला
फिल्म
जाता है.
खत्म हो जाती है, रिलीज हो
Not
जाती है.
broken, pain. Broken is too strong. Yeah.
जब फिल्म खत्म हो जाती है, रिलीज और पैसे नहीं मिलते हैं, तो वो हुए हैं पहले ये चीजें कि हेलो सर अभी इतने परसेंटेज पैसे रहते हैं. That's the kind of I guess वो हुआ होगा. Otherwise तो yeah.
Deceived.
मतलब ये इंडस्ट्री का पार्ट है. Like you do face that on a lot of levels, different levels for each, of course.
That's true. I mean, no, it does happen. I honestly haven't. I haven't faced deception in that sense. Yeah, I faced dishonesty, which is not. I mean, not directly, something indirectly, where you kind of you fix it in whatever way you can. Rejection, yes, a lot. Which has, I think, but over a period of time, you don't let rejection actually affect you that much. It's just like, so even now, if somebody's like, nahi, pata nahi, script didn't work, it's okay, move on. I think that you tend to not let that kind of stuff affect. And I think the same thing applies to, if somebody's trying to cheat you or deceive you or whatever it is, like, what's the solution? Like, do I want it to affect me and then therefore be a part of my life, or do I want to just solve it right now so it is not a part of my life? And I think as you get older being the operative word over here, you kind of like, how to start to really attack certain things so that they don't affect you in that moment.
Aditi?
I wouldn't again use the word deception, but I would say like sometimes like unkind or like unjust. Is it in?
Yeah, unjust.
Unjust things happen, and also when you're new and I think you should always be trusting, because the fact that somebody breaks your trust is on them, not on you.
So true.
And I feel like people try to tell you things like you should grow a thick skin, you should do this, you should do that, and somewhere you realize that no, it's not on you. And to keep that thing steady, I feel is really important, because there could be anything happening around you, and of course it happens. And I wouldn't say it's like, again, not deception, but you see, you hear things about people, and then when you actually see it, sometimes you're just like, oh my god, people actually do this. Like, they have the time to think of all these manipulations and actually do it. And then I always look at it in a way that it's on them, and we need to do what we need to do and keep the faith. That's
Very true.
I agree. I feel जैसे उन्होंने बोला ना कि वो advice मिलता है कि industry ऐसी है या फिर आपके आसपास लोग ऐसे, so you should be. I feel it's so important to be vulnerable. It's so important to be you. अगर कुछ गलत हो रहा है, it should not be. That's so. बहुत इन्होंने सही बोला.
Yeah. Bumbala?
What do I say? Like, I think whatever they're saying is right, and I'm saying it's not dishonesty, it's not, but this is, I think we all have faced this kind of a problem in a different way with a different time, and I think because my experience is too long, so I think I take it very sportingly. So you have to, this industry you have to work, you have to make success, you have to ultimately do your work and properly, and other things just passes away. You don't need to think about that.
Yeah, it's like
Finally, it is your success or your good work or whatever that keeps you moving, and other things it passes away.
and you can't hand over the power to the horrible people.
Right. And
you have to
don't
keep
get into it.
the happy
Don't give your
things.
time. Don't waste your time on it. Even don't get emotional.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
No, I'll just add to that. Like you said, it's wonderful that you said that you cannot stop trusting because you face something like that. But honestly, more times than not, I feel that whoever is like that kind of manipulative, conniving people, I don't know how they land up at such influential positions sometimes. And then I feel like there are times when I call up my mother and say, you've taught me to be a certain way, but does it really get valued? Because today, when we talk about, it's not even a question, when we talk about negativity, there's something that Nawazuddin Siddiqui says in Bajrangi Bhaijaan, I'm talking on behalf of media, that नफरत बड़ी आसानी से बिक जाती है, मोहब्बत उतनी आसानी से नहीं बिकती. मोहब्बत ही है जो हमको सिखाया जाता है कि राइट है. पर मुझे नहीं लगता कि आज के ज़माने में if I say something nice about you, people might call me fake, paid, biased, and all those negative terms. But if I say that, she's horrible, he's horrible, he's so brave,
Honest.
he's fearless.
But that's in their head, na?
That's what I'm saying, but you cannot change yourself.
No, but
You
I
just,
think if you really mean what you're saying, I don't think anyone can doubt that. If it comes from a place where you really mean it,
True.
how can someone doubt it?
I think the only control we have is on our own intention.
Yeah.
And not everybody will actually think like that. But I think it's on us. Who do we want to focus on?
The ones who actually think like us, they are not their voices are not so heard on social media because they're like, we don't care about what do we have to say. The negative is heard. That's why I'm saying that we're living in that world, like you said.
There are so many good people in this world. There are many
good
people in this world.
You need to just find out the right people.
Seriously.
That's why we said that we loved your show. And hopefully people will believe us that yes, we genuinely loved
Yeah,
it.
that's why we asserted doubly.
Doubly.
Yeah.
Doubly, yeah. But thank you so much, everybody. I hope that there are many more, like you said, that after this, there are many more people who are brave enough to attempt something like this and also give opportunities to more talented people to come on board and be a part of a show like that.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure seeing the show, getting a chance to see it beforehand. And it has been a pleasure getting to know you guys a little through this conversation. Thank you so much for giving us Jubilee.
Thank you.
And can't wait to see more of all of your work.
Thank you, Vikram sir, for
Thank
giving us
you.
Jubilee.
Thank you for being a part of Jubilee.
Thank you, Vikram sir.
I think that thanks has been consistent since the trailer launch.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much.